Alright, so today we're going to be doing a test between the AB1GK Undici SBRs and the Adidas Predator Hybrid Pros. So let's talk about the price of these. So the AB1s, they start off at 93 euros, at about 110 US dollars, which is actually a great price for these gloves, considering the market nowadays. The inflation on gloves before used to be a lot cheaper, but now good luck trying to find any good gloves under 120, 130. And these ones might have just done that. The Adidas Predator Hybrids, these are an older version. The new ones are a little bit more expensive, but when I bought them, they were around 140 euros, 150, 160 US dollars. So the difference is around 50 US dollars, which is a lot. $50 is more cash in your pocket, more money for the next pair of gloves or for boots or other accessories that you might need as a goalkeeper. So let's move on to the comfort and fit of both of these gloves, starting with the AB1s. So as I'm putting these on, pretty easy to put on, which is very nice. And considering they're easy to put on, these are very snug. They fit around my finger very well, and they fit around my palms pretty close and tight, as you can see. The inside is very comfortable. It doesn't scratch around your fingers like some other gloves do. The latex is soft and nice. There's just enough breathing room around your fingers to where you can slip in different tapes under your wrists and under your fingers without it rolling up. Now onto the Adidas. So, putting them on here. Still pretty easy to put on. A little bit harder than the AB1s, but not by much. These are also very, very snug, as you can see. Very, very comfortable. Just like the AB1s, they feel very similar to the AB1s on the inside. But there's enough room for tape and for different things. You can see you can stretch out a bit so you can fit in tape. I know with some tighter gloves, when it's too tight and you have tape on your fingers, the tape rolls up, so it gets super annoying. The Adidas do not have that problem, and the AB1s do not have that problem either. Just like the AB1s, I can move my hands freely, and I feel like they're a part of me. It's just my hand, but still enough comfort and enough room to where it's not suffocating my hand. So let's talk about the durability and the quality of the AB1s. As I get a closer look, let's look at the stitching here. The stitching is very, very good. It's not loose, as you can see, it's cross-stitched. And even at the grab point to where you have a little bit of help to put on your gloves, it's not just stitched up here, it's double stitched. On the inside you can see as well, good stitching. Stitched down through the middle of the latex, which I'm surprised about. And through the sides as well, keeping it on right here. Looks like a lot of detail went into it. We're going up here. Very fine, very tight stitching on the padding for the fingers as well. The pockets for airflow on the side of the fingers also look very durable. But the latex it's soft, which means it's good latex, but it will not last you long. That's the problem with a lot of latex is when it's good, it doesn't last long because it's soft, it can tear off easily. But that's the sacrifice you have to make when buying good gloves. Overall, the quality is very, very good. Nothing is loose, and when I'm pulling on everything here, no stitching is, you can't really see the stitching when pulling it on, which means it's stitched very tightly and well. Very comfortable. I'm looking here, stitched down the side here, which you guys can't really tell, but when I pull it apart, it's very fine stitching. Moving on to the Predators now. I have a little bit of a problem with the stitching. First of all, around the wrist here. I've had multiple times where this part just has ripped. Just not a very durable piece. It can rip pretty easily here, especially if you're pulling hard to pull it on. Unlike the AB1s, where you can't really see the stitching because it's concealed behind and underneath. Stitching here is exposed. It's gonna be a problem with the durability and the longevity of the gloves, because later on these could cause problems, you know, if it gets nicked or one of these gets pulled up. You know how with a sweatshirt, you know, you get one little stitch line pulled up and you can stretch it out for how long, because it's all interconnected. That could pose a serious problem. I haven't had too much problem with stitching with my past gloves with Adidas, but I've seen over time, after a couple months, they do start to rip down the middle here, and there's holes similar to what Elite Sport has. Other than that, I mean, the durability of the latex is very similar to the AB1s. Maybe slightly better, but honestly not enough of a difference. They're very comfortable as well. I mean, if you look at it, the design on the back, this is not going anywhere. Even this is like a breathable sort of material. It's not ripping apart. These things, they do come off, they do rip, you know, when you're sliding and everything, but not many of them, and there's so many of them where it's not really gonna make a difference, so I wouldn't really worry about that. So let's talk about the grip and the features of both of these gloves, starting with the AB1s. We're gonna go down here to the bottom. This is something the Adidas ones do not have. They come with a removable wrist strap. They have one that's a little bit thinner here, and they have more of a padded one right here. This is made for, you know, extra protection, so if somebody steps on your wrist, you know, just a little bit more protection, which I know a lot of keepers do prefer. Moving up, we have the back here. We have, of course, the finger padding. This is actually super helpful. It's a small detail, not very noticeable. Does not change much for the feeling of the gloves, but instead of having finger save, you know, this helps when somebody steps on your finger. I've tried this on, and I'm kind of punching my fingers and my knuckles like this. I don't really feel it much, which is a good sign. So they help just to give you a little bit more protection, a little more comfort and security. The back has this sort of latex feature to get a little bit more of a grip on the ball when you're punching it. And the back of the gloves, they're a little bit thicker than the Adidas ones, which for me, I actually do prefer, because then I get more of a safety feeling, you know, like I feel like I'm more protected. And when I'm punching the ball, I feel a little bit less of the ball, which some people may not prefer, but for me, I do prefer, because I can punch it farther, I can get more power on it when it's a little bit thicker. We're looking at the cut here. The cut's a standard negative cut. Around the thumb though, it's a little bit farther, which I do like, you know. It looks pretty cool. It's similar to the Adidas ones, but the cut is standard. I think this will be better for the longevity of the glove, because since there's no latex around here, like how the Adidas ones have, it's not gonna start ripping when you're sliding, you know, only this part's gonna happen. So if a rip starts, there won't be a rip starting on the side, because when one rip starts on the latex, it can travel all the way down, you know, it's gonna destroy the structure of the latex. As I mentioned before, they have these side pockets of mesh. You know, it's pretty open so that your fingers can breathe, so all the sweat and everything can evaporate through. So you get a little bit of a breeze in your fingers so it doesn't get too hot. Even on the inside here, the thumb, there's a little bit of a extra movement so you can get between your fingers. It's easier for you to move your fingers, and it serves as a double, as also a pocket for air to escape or air to come into your gloves. The features on the Adidas Predators are, I mean, the first thing you notice is just the cut. I have to say, it looks super, super cool. I do like how they look. It goes all the way around. This reminds me of like a frog, I would say, you know, frog hands where the fingers kind of curl around. That's what it reminds me of. I mean, this feature doesn't do much. It's just for the looks overall. But looking at the back, they have these grips, the standard Predator grips. You find these on the boots too. And these give off, similar to the latex here on the AB1s, when you're punching the ball, it doesn't slide off as much. You know, you can get more spin on it. It grips the ball better. So if it was more of like a smooth surface, like if these didn't have these blue marks, the ball has a way better chance of just sliding off and you're not making any contact with it. And this kind of eliminates that. Looking to the side here, this is a little bit of a protection piece, more for looks, but basically when you're sliding, when the latex is shaped like this, it doesn't rip as easily, which is nice. They have the cut down here, so they do have the latex going down to the wrist as well, but they kind of cut it off here. This is because when you're, let me show you, when you're bending your hand like this, so it bends right here, it doesn't start bending here. This causes it to be closer, the latex to be closer to your palm. So when you're catching the ball, it's not too far away from your palm. The AB1s, weirdly, you know, you would think they'd have the problem, but not really. I mean, the problem is not that much. It is slightly higher than the Adidas ones, but if you wear these wrist straps, they're basically the same as this, and they kind of cut it off here, the wrist straps, so the latex sticks closer to your palm, which is very important because you don't want it to be out too much. It's going to cause you a lot of problems when you're catching the ball. So let's check out the grip of these gloves. These gloves are both new. I have not worn them during training, but I've been making a couple videos with them the past couple days, trying them out. They've gotten dirty, they've gotten pretty dusty. So these do not have a grip. I have not pre-washed them yet, which is very important to pre-wash because you get all that beginning dust and dirt off of your gloves. So I'm gonna do a grip test near the microphone so you guys can hear the grip. Pretty good grip. I was actually pretty surprised that the grip is gonna be that good, considering, you know, the price of the gloves and how dirty they are. Moving on to the Adidas ones here. Pretty similar, honestly. The grip is, I don't really hear a difference in between the grip. The grip is very similar, and I'm not surprised that the grip is similar considering the latex feels exactly the same. So, which ones do I prefer? The Adidas or the AB1GKs? It's a very, very hard question. They are both very good gloves. They have different features that are a little bit better than the other ones or a little bit worse. And overall, considering the price of these Adidas ones, and now they have gone even further up since these are the older version. The new Adidas Predators, or now they turn to the Copas, can run you about 180. I'm taking the AB1s actually. They're very, very similar to the Adidas ones. They have a different look. I mean, the latex is similar. The overall features are similar. But for me, especially during training, and during games, and I want the quality and the stitching. I don't want any issues. I don't want any rips. I don't want anything. And I want it for a good, affordable price because nowadays, gloves are crazy. I don't know what happened to the price of gloves, but they're super expensive. When you don't make that much money, trying to buy 160 on the low end, good luck trying to find these that are 160 or 160 at a low end gloves every month and a half. It's not happening. It's very expensive. It's a very big commitment. Having something where you can at least shave off 50, 60 bucks is gonna be a very good deal. You know, that's 30 McDonald's hamburgers. You buy these gloves, you basically get another one. You get 3 gloves for the price of 2 of these, which is amazing. You know, over time it does add up the money, and there's not enough of a difference between these two where I would prefer these over these. I very much like these right now, and I'm gonna train soon with them. I've been off for a couple days, and I'm gonna make a video of what I think of them after the training. So I thank you guys again for watching. I'm gonna put a link to both these gloves into the description, and you guys can try to find these ones, but I'm not sure if you will. You'll find the newer versions of these. But I highly suggest you guys check these ones out. I've been thoroughly impressed. I was surprised at how good they are and how well they fared with the Adidas ones. Sorry about the car, but I mean, I've been very impressed. These are Asmir Begovic. If you guys did not know, Asmir Begovic 1GK, AB1GK. He currently plays at Tottenham. or Everton, sorry. But he's a Premier League legend, you know. These are his brand. You guys can support an athlete versus Adidas, which probably make 100,000 times the amount of money this brand does. And they have very nice videos. A lot of goalkeepers backing up this brand. This brand is very much growing all over the world, you know, in England, in the United States. I know the Man City women's team goalkeepers wear these ones, but also in the MLS for the Chattanooga team, their goalkeeper wears these. You know, it's growing a lot, and there's a reason why these pros trust these gloves, because they're very good gloves. Thank you guys again for watching, and this is a comparison between the Adidas Predators and the AB1GK Adidas.